Did you know that some vegetables could be raising your blood sugar and putting your health at risk without you even realizing it? These blood sugar spikes can lead to serious complications like heart and kidney problems. But don't worry, you can avoid these mistakes. In today's video, we'll show you the 12 vegetables you should avoid to control your blood sugar. With the right choices, you can live with more security and quality of life. But before we continue, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I have a series of videos that will help you manage diabetes and regain your health. Let's get started. 1. Potato. Potatoes are in so many delicious dishes, from crispy fries to creamy mashed potatoes. But for those who need to control blood sugar, they can be a hidden trap. That's because potatoes are rich in starch, which quickly turns into sugar in the bloodstream. You know that satisfying feeling of eating fries or mashed potatoes, while your body absorbs that carbohydrate so fast that your blood sugar rises instantly. And if it's fried potatoes, the problem is even worse. In addition to the high glycemic index, the oil and fat make blood sugar control even harder. But don't worry, that doesn't mean you have to cut potatoes out of your life. If you really crave them, opt for sweet potatoes, which have more fiber and release sugar more slowly. And if you want to eat regular potatoes, prefer cooking them with the skin and pairing them with proteins and healthy fats to balance the impact on blood sugar. 2. Corn. Corn is a true classic in cooking. It's found in dishes like tortillas, elote, and even popcorn. However, for those with diabetes, this golden grain can be a challenge. The problem is that corn is high in starch, which quickly converts into sugar in the bloodstream. It doesn't matter if it's cooked corn, popcorn, or tamales. There's always a large amount of carbs. Moreover, many corn-based dishes contain fat and salt, like fried tortillas, which can worsen insulin resistance. Does this mean you have to eliminate corn from your diet? Not at all. The key is moderation. Choose small portions of cooked corn and avoid ultra-processed foods. And if you're looking for an alternative, try nopal tortillas or almond flour tortillas. They have less impact on blood sugar. I know how difficult it can be to choose the right meals to manage blood sugar, especially with so many options out there. But what if you had a simple and practical guide, full of delicious recipes adapted for diabetics? With Smart Eating, the nutritional guide for diabetics, you'll get the support you need to plan your meals from breakfast to desserts with ingredients that help keep blood sugar stable. Want to transform your eating habits and start managing blood sugar easily and deliciously? Download the guide now by clicking the link in the first pinned comment below the video. 3. Japanese pumpkin. Who can resist a good plate of roasted pumpkin or a creamy mash? Japanese pumpkin, or kabocha, has a naturally sweet touch that makes any dish irresistible. But that's where the danger lies for those with diabetes. Unlike other less sweet pumpkins, kabocha is richer in carbohydrates and has a higher glycemic index. In other words, it can quickly raise your blood sugar, especially when cooked or roasted. If you've ever had a smooth pumpkin puree, you know that creamy texture indicates it contains a large amount of natural sugar. Does this mean you need to cut pumpkin out of your diet? Not necessarily. The key is to eat small portions and pair it with proteins or healthy fats, like fresh cheese or olive oil. And if you're looking for an option with less impact on blood sugar, zucchini can be an excellent alternative. 4. Beetroot. Beetroot is one of those vegetables that sparks different reactions. Either you love it or you can't stand it. But no one can deny that its vibrant color and sweet taste make it a hit in salads and juices. And it's precisely this natural sugar that can be problematic for those with diabetes. Despite being a vegetable, beetroot has a higher sugar level than most other veggies. This means that when you eat it, especially cooked, your body can absorb the sugar quickly, raising your blood sugar levels. And if it's in juice form, the situation worsens. In juice, the fiber is removed, causing the sugar to enter the bloodstream quickly. But don't worry, you don't have to cut beetroot out of your diet. The secret is to consume it in small portions and always combine it with other foods that help balance blood sugar, such as nuts, fresh cheese, or leafy greens. And if possible, opt for the raw, grated version, which retains the fiber and prevents sugar spikes. 5. Cooked carrot. Carrot seems harmless, right? Raw, crunchy, and full of nutrients. It's a great option for snacks and salads. But when cooked, the story changes. The problem with cooked carrots for those with diabetes is the increase in their glycemic index. Heat breaks down the fibers and makes it easier for the body to digest the carbohydrates, which causes the sugar to be absorbed faster, potentially increasing blood sugar, especially in purees or concentrated soups. But don't worry, you can still eat carrots. The trick is to prefer raw carrots, grated or in sticks, which retain the fiber and release sugar more slowly. And if you prefer the cooked version, pair it with proteins or healthy fats like cheese, olive oil, or avocado to balance the impact on blood sugar. 6. Cassava. Cassava is a delicious root found in many traditional dishes, filling and offering plenty of energy. However, for those who need to control blood sugar, it can be a real challenge. Cassava is rich in starch, which quickly turns into sugar in the bloodstream. In other words, eating cassava can raise blood sugar as quickly as eating white bread. And if it's fried, like in fried yuca, the problem is even greater because the fat in the frying process makes it harder to control blood sugar. But this doesn't mean you need to eliminate cassava from your diet. The key is to consume it in small quantities and always cooked. Pairing it with proteins and fiber, like grilled chicken and salad, can help reduce its impact on blood sugar. If you want a lower-carb alternative, chayote can be a great substitute in some recipes. 7. Yam. Yam is a nutritious tuber, full of benefits and commonly used in broths and soups. However, for those with diabetes, it can be problematic. Like cassava, yam is also rich in starch, meaning it quickly turns into sugar in the bloodstream. The worst part is that when cooked, yam is even easier to digest, raising its glycemic index. So that creamy yam puree might seem harmless, but it could actually cause a blood sugar spike higher than you might expect. But don't worry, the secret is moderation and how it's prepared. Opt for small portions and combine yam with proteins and healthy fats, like eggs, cheese, or olive oil. Another alternative is to use vegetables with less starch, like chayote or zucchini, which add texture to dishes without disrupting blood sugar. 8. Peas. Small, green, and tasty, peas seem harmless, right? However, for those with diabetes, they can be sneaky. Although it's a vegetable, peas contain a considerable amount of carbohydrates, which can affect blood sugar levels. And the situation worsens when peas are overcooked or processed, like in purees or soups, because they lose part of their fiber and have a higher glycemic index. And if they're canned and sweetened, the impact on blood sugar is even greater. But don't worry, you don't need to avoid peas entirely. The secret is in the amount and how you consume them. Opt for small portions and fresh peas, which retain the fiber instead of canned ones. And always pair them with proteins or healthy fats to balance blood sugar. 9. Cooked turnip. Turnip is one of those vegetables that isn't part of everyone's regular diet, but appears in many traditional dishes, like soups and stews. Raw, it has a slightly spicy taste and is low in calories. However, when cooked, the story changes. The problem with cooked turnip for those with diabetes is that the heat breaks down its fibers, making carbohydrates easier to absorb, which increases its glycemic index. In other words, although it's a vegetable, it can cause a blood sugar spike, especially when consumed in large quantities or in more concentrated dishes. But don't worry, you don't need to eliminate turnip from your diet. The trick is to consume it raw, grated in salads, to take advantage of the fibers and avoid sudden fluctuations in glucose levels. Another option is to replace turnip with low glycemic vegetables like cucumber or radishes, which offer crunchiness without affecting blood sugar control. 10. Tomato sauce or paste. Fresh tomatoes are a great nutritious option, but when they're turned into sauce or paste, the situation changes a bit. It's not just the flavor that intensifies, but also the amount of sugar and sodium, which can interfere with blood sugar control for those with diabetes. The problem is that during the transformation process, tomato sauce can lose some of its fibers, and in many cases, sugar and preservatives are added. This raises the glycemic index of the product, causing blood sugar to rise more quickly. Additionally, the sodium in tomato paste can harm blood pressure, another important factor for those managing diabetes. There's no need to eliminate tomato sauce from your diet, but it's important to choose versions without added sugar or additives. Even better is opting for homemade sauces made with fresh tomatoes and natural seasonings. Also, remember to consume in small portions to avoid large blood sugar spikes. 11. Green bell pepper. Green bell peppers are one of those versatile vegetables used in a variety of dishes like salsas, salads, and fajitas. However, for those with diabetes, they may not be the best choice in large amounts. Although they are rich in fiber and vitamin C, green bell peppers have a moderate glycemic index, meaning that in large portions, they can impact blood glucose levels. Also, while they're not as sweet as red or yellow bell peppers, they contain more starch than one might think, and this starch can convert to sugar more quickly. Does this mean you should avoid green bell peppers? No, but it's important to control portions. Use them as seasoning or combine them with low glycemic vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, or leafy greens. This way, you can enjoy their benefits without negatively affecting blood sugar. 12. Caramelized onion. Onion is a super versatile ingredient used in many delicious dishes. However, when caramelized, things can change, especially for those with diabetes. When onions are caramelized, they go through a slow process with the addition of sugar or honey, turning their natural carbohydrates into simpler sugars. This makes the glycemic index of caramelized onions much higher than that of raw or cooked onions, causing a quicker rise in blood sugar levels. Don't worry, you don't need to cut onions from your diet. The solution is to avoid adding sugar or honey during the caramelization process. If you want a sweet touch, try healthier alternatives like balsamic vinegar, which offers sweetness without affecting glucose as much. And, of course, consume onions in moderation to avoid overloading on carbohydrates. Now you know which vegetables should be consumed with care to manage your glucose. Remember, smart choices can make all the difference in your daily routine. If you enjoyed the content, like, comment, and subscribe for more tips like this. Let's take care of our health together and stay well informed. See you in the next video.